no attention to his listener as he cons over his secret thoughts, I remained silent, and seating myself upon the bed, continued to watch his kind face. "You are no longer a child. You can understand things now, and I will tell you my whole story, and all that I have undergone. Some day, my children, you may remember the old friend who loved you so much." He leant his elbow upon the table by his side, took a pinch of snuff, and in the peculiarly measured, guttural tone in which he used to dictate us our lessons, began the story of his career. Since he many times in later years repeated the whole to me again, always in the same order, and with the same expressions and the same unvarying intonation, I will try to render it literally, and without omitting the innumerable grammatical errors into which he always strayed when speaking in Russian. Whether it was really the history of his life, or whether it was the mere product of his imagination, that is to say, some narrative which he had conceived during his lonely residence in our house, and had at last, from endless repetition, come to believe in himself, or whether he was adorning with imaginary facts the true record of his career, I have never quite been able to make out. On the one hand, there was too much depth of feeling and practical consistency in its recital for it to be wholly incredible, while on the other hand, the abundance of poetical beauty which it contained tended to raise doubts in the mind of the listener. "Me were very unhappy from the time of my birth," he began with a profound sigh. "The noble blood of the Countess of Zomerblat flows in my veins. Me were born 6 week after the wedding. The man of my mutter, I called him Papa, were farmer to the Count von Zomerblat. He could not forget my mutter's shame, and loved me not. I had a youngster brother, Johann, and 2 sister, but me were strange between my own family. When Johann made several silly trick, Papa said, 'With this child, Karl, I am never to have one moment tranquil,' and then he scolded and punished me. When the sister quarrelled among themselves, Papa said, 'Karl will never be one obedient boy,' and still scolded and punished me. My good Mamma alone loved and tenderet me. Often she said to me, 'Karl, come in my room,' and there she kissed me secretly. 'Poorly, poorly Karl,' she said, 'nobody love you, but I will not exchange you for somebody in the world. One thing your mutter begs you to remember,' she said to me. 'Learn well, and be ever one honest man. Then Got will not forsake you.' And I tried so to become. When my 14 year had expired, and me could partake of the Holy Supper, my mutter said to my vater, 'Karl is one big boy now, Gustav. What shall we do with him?' And Papa said, 'Me don't know.' Then Mamma said, 'Let us give him to town at Mr. Schulzen's, and he may be shoemaker.' And my vater said, 'Gut.' 6 year and 7 months lived I in town with the Mr. Shoemaker, and he loved me. He said, 'Karl are one good workman, and shall soon become my gesell.' But man makes the proposition, and God the deposition. In the year 1796, one conscription took place, and each which was serviceable from the 18th to the 21st year had to go to town. My vater and my brother Johann come to town, and we go together to throw the lot for which should be soldat. Johann drew the veto number, and me was not necessary to be soldat. And Papa said, 'I have only one son, and with him I must now separate.' Then I take his hand, and says, 'Why you say so, Papa? Come with me, and I will say you something.' And Papa come, and we sit together at ze public's house, ant me sayt, 'Waiter, give us one bierkrug,' ant he gives us one. We trink all together, and Broser Johann also trink. 'Papa,' sayt me, 'don't say that you have only one son, and with it you must separate.' My heart was breaking ven you say this. Broser Johann must not serve. Me shall pe soldat. Karl is for nobody necessary, and Karl shall pe soldat. 'You is one honest man, Karl,' sayt Papa, and kissed me, and me was soldat." End of Section 2. Recording by Bill Borst.